about 8 months ago, we appointed a manager for Indigenous engagement who is part of our teaching and learning team.
This idea of coming here started from a conversation that Ingrid and I were having about better ways we can bring our university to people.
In conversation with Christopher, it became evident to me that it's unlikely to be successful to simply say to staff, this is what you must do. Because in actual fact, in saying that, we are assuming that they have this understanding, that they have this level of insight, and that's not necessarily all we saw. So the intent was, let's build the understanding in our academics and in our teachers of why Indigenous perspectives, Indigenous engagement is important before we expect them to deliver on that.
So going to a community gives first-hand experience to me of the issues that are faced by the community and to hear their genuine voices rather than experiencing that second-hand through a journal article or a newspaper article. So it's the genuineness of engagement that is so important to the law school.
The next step was, let's have some real immersion. Let's have some first-hand experience of Indigenous communities and the Indigenous environment, both economic, cultural, social, environmental, which is very different to a traditional urban environment in Australia.
So thanks very much to everyone from Nauiyu to welcome us today. It's been a marvellous opportunity for us to visit, and we're such a lovely town and so many great people here.
As the planning evolved, we agreed that we would start with actually the leaders in the faculty. So the Executive Dean, the Dean of Business, the Dean of the Law School, myself, hosted by Christopher. And Christopher also has an understanding and an awareness that we don't of culturally sensitive engagement. So, but we did decide that maybe it starts at the top, this awareness and this immersion.
We left Darwin at 6:30. And we got to Adelaide River about 7:30. Adelaide River is about an hour's drive south of Darwin. And then we turned right and drove for another hour and a half through following the Tibetan Path for about 30-40 kilometres of the old Stuart Highway. And then we had to turn right again to take the road straight into the community, which was another hour and a half.
We had the extraordinary privilege of being able to meet with Miriam Rose, and in fact to have the visit largely hosted by Miriam Rose, who is an exceptional educator and person, and she gave us insight into their experiences. Agnes took us for a walk through a large part of the community, and she talked to us about the origins as a mission and the Catholic Church, talked to us a lot about the school and the children attending the school. We went past the courthouse and what that means for the community. We talked about the hospital and the healthcare. We went to the cultural centre, the gallery. So we spent maybe an hour, maybe longer. And we also went to the men's shed and the women's shed and saw the work they're doing with their art and carpentry. But this walk took at least an hour, probably an hour and a half. I would say geographically, we covered 700 metres, 800 metres. That means very, very slow walking and very thoughtful talking and slow walking. And I had to consciously think, slow down, Ingrid. You don't need to be walking any faster than this. This is okay, be in the moment. And that was important.
The community is actually full of business and enterprise. Just walking around the woodworking sheds and the art community, as well as the opportunities for executive development, using Miriam's mindfulness and the connection between nature and leadership, the potential is huge. And for the business school, we'd certainly like to explore that much further.
We finished off at midday around with a barbecue with some of the locals, some of the youth that were there, and also some government representatives. Prime Minister and Cabinet's office was represented there. But it gave a chance for also Miriam to be present as well, and then to engage with the travelling group.
Walking around today and seeing all the talent that's here, all the creative people, all the opportunities that's here, there's a lot of interesting ideas already. Only been here, when did we get here? 10 o'clock. Only been here for morning tea and lunchtime, and already there's lots of things that are occurring to us about what we could do and ways we could work on things that we think you're interested in.
And if there's anything that you might be interested in doing, like courses, training, if you want to become somebody, I mean you are somebody, but that's part of the courses that they got on offer. And if you go there, you can't just go and sleep on the long grass. There is a hostel that they have for you to go stay in, and the lady just can't wait to have you go there.
So lots of ideas and lots of experience in getting that job done, of making you, working with you, so you can become who you can imagine you can be.
One of the highlights of that interaction for me personally was sitting down with Christopher Finlay and talking with one of the youth, a young lady who wants to be a chef. And so we're hoping to have her come down soon.
We can be enablers. We have a very close relationship with a number of schools in Adelaide, and we can be enabling them to not just come to Adelaide to start at university, but come to Adelaide and be involved in a supportive school community that enables them to get their Year 12 successfully and to create the opportunities for further study.
It was good to see the location of Nauiyu, the surroundings, the environment, the physical environment. I mean, yes, we did see all the infrastructures that were there, but it wasn't until we got outside of that when we went down to Welcome to Country, being baptised in the water by the local elders and some of the emerging leaders, and seeing crocodiles, of course, added to I suppose the sort of excitement of being there.
I'm going to have to get you to take your shoes off and walk in the water ankle deep. How far in the crocodiles come?
They're on the other side of the bridge, you'll be alright.
Are you sure? Going up your head is for wisdom and knowledge, and enabling new life, and that's you, being connected to your mum, and droplets fall off you, back into the river, and the current takes your presence, acknowledging all our ancestors, and it goes, this runs out to the sea.
Miriam wanted to sit down and have conversations with us in this special place.
In the shade of a tree overlooking the Daly River, Miriam's talking to us about stillness. And about how to be still and how to just simply be and how to simply and to engage, and how that can allow an engagement with the environment that we rarely have. We live in these urban environments that are full of smartphones and stimulation and busyness. And for me, that was important. That's important, to be taught the value of being still.
We're on the road back from Nauiyu to Daly River. You can see where the long run story is. The long run story is about having people from this community come to the University of Adelaide as students, study, complete, finish, succeed. But I think in the short term there's a whole bunch of interesting stuff we can do that involves significant two-way movement between community here and us. So some examples. Our students coming here. Now our students are looking for experiences which can really change the way they think about themselves, and international students in particular. I mean, what a proposition for us to make to people from the rest of the world. Why should I come to study in Adelaide? Well, I can come to study in Adelaide and I can have a genuine Australian experience that goes back to its deep history and its cultural roots in this community. So that's an outstanding possibility. But the people from this community should come to us too. We met the most marvellous woman today, Miriam Rose, an extraordinary person, and to have her come to Adelaide to have a look at us, to be able to talk to her people about what we're like, and to have her meet our students would be outstanding. So that's where I'm up to. I'm sure there's more, but I reckon that's enough to go on with.
And thank you for coming